Hi, welcome back. Last time we built a program that allowed us to control the color of an LED. And if you remember, we can now select any one of 8 basic colors. Since then, you'll have learned a little bit about pulse width modulation, or PWM control. What we're going to do first today is we're going to go back to our original sketch and we're going to adjust it so that we can control our light and get a bit more control out of it. Now, today I'm also going to replace the light bulb with, I'm going to put a white ping pong ball over the top of it. If you've got access to an old ping pong ball and you can put a little hole in it, it's very, very useful because it makes the colors a bit easier to see. So if you remember last time, I left you with a circuit and it was looking a little bit like this. We had the LED flashing. And sometimes the colour is a bit hard to see on camera. In person it's not too bad, but I'm going to put the ping pong ball over the top because that makes it a little bit easier to see. And if I turn the lights off now, it's a bit easier to see what colours are going on. So the cycle at the moment is cyan, magenta, blue, off. Cyan, magenta, blue, off. I'll put the lights back on. It's a little bit easier to see what's going on. Now, in our code, I'm going to jump back to our code window now. What we had, if you remember, we had our pins defined at the top here, 9, 10, and 11. We'd set them as outputs, and then we were calling this function setColor. And the function setColor basically allowed us to do a digital write, and we could turn things on or off. So all we're going to do is we're going to first of all modify this setColor to allow us to use what's called an analogWrite. So we're going to take the word digital and delete that and replace it with the word analog, which is A-N-A-L-O-G, analog, which is an American spelling of analog, because often you'll put a U-E on the end. So just be careful you're spelling it right here, analogWrite. Now, if you remember on the pulse width modulation video, the instructions, we talked about a duty cycle of being percent. Now, computers don't work in decimal. They don't work on the 0 to 10 system. They work in binary, which is the 0 to 1 system. The common setup we use on a computer is called a byte, B-Y-T-E. A byte is 8 bits, and 8 bits is 1 digit. Well, bit, individual, 1 or 0. This allows us to have between not 0 and 100%, but between 0 and 255. So 255 is completely on, 0 is completely off, and anywhere in between is partly on, partly off. So let's go back to our routine here, this loop. At the moment we've got 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1. If we try and upload that now, what do you think will happen? No problems with that. But if we look at the actual light, the LED, you might be able to see something going there. If I turn the lights off, you'll probably notice it is changing still, but it's very, very faint. And it's even fainter in real life. And that's because we're only going up to a value of 1 out of 255. What we need to do is we need to change all these 1s to 255. I'm going to copy the 255 and I'm going to paste it. It's going to be faster. There we go. If we now run this code, we should get exactly what we had before. And there you go, it's working as it was. But what we can do is if we go back into the code window, we can now actually generate new colors that we've never seen before. So we could go for, I have no idea what color this is going to be. Let's do 127 bits of red. Let's do 64 bits of green and 200 bits of blue. Leave it on for 3 seconds. Then let's make it a very strong green with a hint of blue. And then let's go for a reddy violet. So let's make this a strong red and a weakish, well, mid to weakish blue. So let's do 175. I have no idea what these colors are going to look like. We could go check them in the website, in the color selector, but I'm all for trying an experiment. So let's press the colors and press the upload and see what happens. So what have we got? We've got a deep violet. We've got a bright grayish white color, turquoise color, a violet color, and then off again. Obviously on your circuit, on your program, try some combinations of your own, see what happens. But we're going to try and add something else here. Now that we've got a lot more levels for each of these, red, green and blue, let's change what we're doing in here. So I'm going to delete this just for the moment. And what we're going to do is we're going to make one of these colors ramp up. So we're going to use a different type of control structure. You can read about this straight after this lesson. It's called a for loop. A for loop is very, very simple. Every time you go around the loop, a variable is going to get incremented. So the structure goes for, and then we open a normal parenthesis, a curved bracket, a round bracket. We now need to have a variable which is going to hold a number, and we're going to use int for that. And traditionally we use the letter I as our first incrementer, and we're going to put a semicolon. Actually, no, before we do it, we're going to set I equal to 0 because we start counting from 0. Then we're going to say keep going around this loop until I is less than or equal to 255. So this less than or equal sign means it will keep going until it hits 255. Another semicolon. And then we're going to say each time we go around this loop, we want I to get bigger. So we're going to go I equals I plus, and let's make it get 5 points bigger each time. And then we put a curly brace and open. So it's now going to go around this loop as many times as it takes for I to go from 0 to 255. So the first time it goes in, it'll be 0. The second time it'll be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and so on until it hits 255. When it gets 255, it'll do it one more time, and then it'll break out of the loop and come out and finish everything off. So let's delete those. They were just for our guidance. What we're going to do is we're going to set our color, and let's pick a color. Now I'm going to go with purple. So I'm going to make the globe get brighter in the color purple. So purple is red and blue. So I'm actually going to say the value I'm going to pass in, I need to pass in 3 numbers. Remember, I need to pass a number for red. I'm going to pass I, which is going to be a changing number. I'm going to pass a number from green. Now purple doesn't have any green in it, so I'm going to put a 0. And blue, well, there's blue in purple, so we're going to put an I as well. Now I need this to go slowly enough that I can see what's going on. So I'm going to put a small delay of maybe 1/10 of a second, so 100 milliseconds. And then I'm coming out. What I've now got is I've got a circuit that's going to get brighter and brighter, but it's only going to do it once. So I now need to set the color to something else. Let's turn it off again. So off is 0, 0, 0. So it should ramp up in color and then go off. And let's set that delay to 3 seconds, 3000 milliseconds. So it should ramp up in purple color, set the color to off, wait 3 seconds, and then go back round again. Let's press verify. No errors. I'm going to switch us over to the overhead view again and turn the lights off. And I'm going to press upload. Let's see what happens. So it gets brighter and brighter and then goes off. Waits 3 seconds, gets brighter and brighter, and goes off. Gets brighter and brighter, and it goes off. Now you can make that happen for any color that you want just by changing the command that's in here. So if you don't want it to go, if you want the color change not to be purple, you prefer it to be yellow. Yellow is red and green, and there's no blue. So what we can do is we can say set color equals that. Let's try that one. This time it's a yellowy green that's happening. We can also do something a bit funky in that we can make it do a crossfade if we wanted to. So at the moment we have got a color that goes from 0, 0, 0, goes up in steps of 5 until it gets to 255, 255, 0. Well, each of these things in here is just a number. And if it's a number, we can do maths on it. So what we could do is we could say, let's let the red ramp up. Let's let the green stay as 0 all the time. But let's let the blue bit, let's have that as 255 minus I. So as this number is getting bigger, this one's getting smaller. I'm going to make this time, I'm going to make it take a little bit longer. So I'm going to make the steps smaller. And I'm going to give a longer delay between them. The only reason I'm doing that is it will give the camera time for it to actually adapt to the light. What do you think this is going to look like? So, pressing upload now. Did that do what you thought it was going to do? Goes from blue, fades through magenta, and ends up with a nice deep red color before going out off. I'm going to show you one last little thing on these for loops. So at the moment we have a for loop that counts from 0 up to 255, and I'm going to put it back so it goes in steps of 5. We can actually make it count the other way. So I'm going to copy the whole thing, and I'm going to paste it again. But this time, instead of it going from 0 to 255, I'm going to make it go from 255 to 0. Now, if I go like that, what's going to happen to the number? It's going to start off as 255. It's going to keep going until it gets to 0, but every time it goes around the loop, I is going to get 5 bigger. So it's going to go 255, 260, 265, 270. It's never going to reach 0. So if it never hits 0, then we actually need to do something about this. And I've just realized, keep going until while I is less than or equal 0. Well, I is not less than or equal 0. It won't go in here. So we need to turn that around. So that's greater than or equals to 0. This is the condition that needs to be met. While it meets that condition, it can carry on. The other thing we need to do here is we need to make this a negative sign, a minus. I equals I minus 5. Well, we end up with red, don't we? So we've got a red color. Let's make it fade to yellow. So yellow doesn't have any blue in it. And let's instead put the 255 minus I here. So it's going to start at 255, 0, 0. As this gets bigger, this will get smaller, this will stay the same, and it should now go blue through red to yellow and then off. No errors, it's copied across. Let's have a look. I'll turn the lights off again so you can see. There's the magenta color. It's already on its way down. Magenta through red, fading to yellow, and then to green. It's definitely green now. And off. Start again. Blue. Fades through magenta. Hits red, goes into yellow, and ends up with green. So there's a lot in there. There's a lot that you've learned in that very short period of time. You've got analog writes, which allow you to switch an output on and off really, really fast so that the LED looks like it can get brighter and darker. Remember, 0 is off, 255 is fully on. You've also learned a little bit about a for loop. Read a bit more about them on the course site. But remember, the first variable is the starting point. The second is the do the loop while this condition is true chunk. And then the last part is the how much should I alter this variable each time I go around. You can count up those for loops, you can count down those for loops. What I'd like you to do, give it a try. Try to see if you can get some nice funky control, some good colors coming through. See if you can mix this around a bit. Don't stick with just the basic colors. See if you can make some of the more unusual colors. Remember, you've got the color mixer in the website. I'll put it in the website underneath this video so you can try different color settings. Until next time, have fun, enjoy, and I look forward to seeing your creations.